Oh wait, I'm like so lounged. Let me like fix that.
Today we're coming at you in a Model Y without radar. We're going to try out Autopilot on this Tesla Vision Model Y. It has 550 miles and it's a 183,000 mile VIN. It does have passenger lumbar, which is kind of weird. They did away with that. This is a test drive car from Tesla, but we have it for about 2.5 days. We're going to tell you what we think of it. Last week I did a 3,000 mile road trip in a Model X with full self-driving and radar, of course. It was a 2017 100D. And Kaylee drives a 2015 Model S70D with Autopilot 1. And last year I did 60,000 miles on my 2015 Model S70D with AP1. Let's just see how it does. Can Autopilot work without radar? We shall see. So to start out with, we're going to a coffee shop in Minneapolis. And let me just show you the Autopilot menu on this car. So right now, Summon is grayed out. That's going to be coming with a future software update. And the minimum follow distance you can set is 3. It does not let you go any closer, even if you try. Everything else is fairly normal, but emergency lane departure avoidance is grayed out as well. And then you can see that this is a 183,000 mile VIN and we're on 2021.4.18.2. So here we are just driving along. I'm going to engage Autopilot. It's just like any other Model 3 or Model Y, 2 times down on the drive stalk. Here we go. If we try to exceed 75 miles an hour, it yells at you just like if you were to exceed 90 on any other Autopilot car. We're going to turn on Navigate on Autopilot. That is, again, just like any other car as well. And so far, it's doing really well. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would say it had radar. Let's see how it handles a lane change. So I'm going to signal. Quick, easy, smooth, exactly as I would expect.
might look great, it's all for sure. You didn't know, I wonder what it meant to be. If I let go and let it flow, I think there's more to see.
I just need a break. I'll take what you need. I just need to break.
I'll take you to a trip to the other side. I'll take you to a trip to the other side. Take a sip, it's a trip to the other side. I'll take you to a trip to the other side. Take a trip to the other side. I'll take you to a trip to the other side. Take a sip, it's a trip to the other side. I'll take you to a trip to the other side. Do you just feel like there is no just left to see? Do you just wanna to rewriting down your script? It's all for sure, for sure. Didn't know, I wonder what it meant to be. If I let go, so let it flow, I think there's more in me.
I just need a break. I'll take what you need. I just need to break.
I'll take you to a trip to the other side. I'll take you to a trip to the other side. Take a sip, it's a trip to the other side. I'll take you to a trip to the other side. Take a trip to the other side. I'll take you to a trip to the other side. Take a sip, it's a trip to the other side. I'll take you to a trip to the other side.
Now it's Kaylee's turn to drive with radarless autopilot. Let's see what she thinks of it and how she reacts. Kaylee, what do you think of? Kaylee, what do you think of radarless autopilot so far in your driving?
I've been on it for about 5 seconds.
And what do you think so far? Is it exactly what you'd expect?
I mean, it was pretty self-explanatory if you've been in a Tesla, but that's about all I got.
What about the behavior?
It's the same as my car, just a few different buttons. So far the behavior is fine, but I don't think it will be if I hit any sort of like traffic. It obnoxiously brakes, like way before it should.
Yeah, it seems to be a little bit overly aggressive in its safety, I guess. But I mean, it's better than hitting things, but it doesn't make it less annoying.
No, but it's like almost like could cause back issues like aggressiveness. Is this in chill or normal?
This is in normal right now.
Okay.
Do you want it in chill?
Maybe in a minute. Like this was fine this time because it was, I don't know. Like sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's obnoxious. Like sometimes it slows down normally, sometimes it's like, I'm gonna throw your back out, give you whiplash.
What she's talking about there is in a prior clip, which we'll probably have before this, you can see that it's pretty jerky as people were merging and as we were coming up on pretty slow or pulling out traffic even. But overall, I'd say it's really good. The 75 mile an hour speed limit's a little annoying if you're on the interstate. We're just doing kind of around the city, so it's no big deal because it's 60 mile an hour speed limits. But if we were in a 70 mile an hour speed limit, or even 75 or 80 mile an hour speed limit, it'd be pretty annoying.
Well, and that's the thing, is that there's plenty of places with 80 mile per hour speed limits, and you'd be basically impeding traffic by going 75.
Yeah, you'd be getting run over because even though the speed limit's 80, everyone's going 85, 90 plus.
Yeah. Like, even in the right lane at 75, you're basically impeding traffic. You're basically a semi at that point.
You're being passed by semis at that
Yeah.
point. So that's really annoying. Hopefully Tesla really gets on that real quick, because that's a borderline a safety hazard.
Yeah.
The 3 following distance, I usually keep it on 1, but 3 is probably for the better anyway.
Yeah, I usually keep it on 1, but if I feel like unsafe, I usually extend it to 3. Like if it's trafficy or just like there's a car in front of me that I don't like, I feel if there's any sort of like reasoning behind, I always keep it at 3.
It's less reactive at 3, I feel like.
Yeah.
So that's not the worst thing. I mean, I wish I could make it a little closer, especially for traffic.
I feel like a lot more people are cutting me off because it's at 3.
Yeah.
Which then impacts, like, then it goes and does that obnoxious braking thing. So it's like more people are cutting me off, and therefore then it like throws on the brakes, and it's not a good time.
It's probably a safety thing for the meantime, just being that they're still learning how it reacts. So it is good for the car to have more reaction time and for the driver to have more reaction time, but I would like to see that change and then go to 1. Yeah, otherwise very happy. This Model Y overall as a car is pretty awesome, though the ride is still a bit more rough than I would like. It still seems a bit oversprung and underdamped, but road noise is way improved since the last Model Y I drove, like probably last year at this point.
The dual pane glass seems to really help.
Yeah, like the wind noise, the overall road noise is significantly improved. But this car is even on the 19s and the ride is still pretty rough, so when I get one, I'll probably put different suspension on it just to make the ride a little bit more compliant, and because I want it a little bit lowered. Because then it basically makes it a Model 3 hatchback, which is what I've wanted all along, but isn't a thing. So Model Y lowered is the closest you can get. But anyway, we're just gonna drive some more, see how it does.
So like we just approached traffic, and I feel like it waited till, like, I could see the traffic up ahead, but I just let it do its thing just to see how it would handle it. And I feel like it just waited till like the last possible second and then threw me into the brakes. Whereas like my car, I feel like would have slowly eased me into it more.
I disagree a little bit. I think it behaved like your car would have on 1 follow distance, like waiting till the last minute to brake.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't think I've never been like in pain from my car, like throwing me back into brakes. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But then again, I was more just letting it do its thing. Like if I was concerned in my car, I probably would have just broken it. But
I mean, in either of our cars, I would have set the follow distance to 6 as I was approaching traffic. Very
I don't
easily.
do that.
Oh, okay. I sometimes do, just to like make it slow down even sooner than it normally would.
if anything, I start adjusting the following distance as I'm approaching it, but that's about it.
Okay. So we did just discover something. So as long as you don't have autopilot on, you can actually set the traffic aware cruise control or just adaptive cruise all the way up to 90. So maybe go behind someone so that way you don't go 90.
Okay.
But like you can still set it to 90.
Well, like right now, it won't let me go above 75.
Yep. So you can see the 75 there, and you can see the auto steer restricted to 75 miles per hour. But now let's just take it off autopilot, and then it just okay. So now we're just on traffic aware cruise control.
Just going straight, so we're fine.
And it will let you go all the way up to 90. So after driving about 200 miles on a Model Y with Tesla Vision, no radar, do we recommend it? I think so.
Yeah.
As long as...
It just depends more what you're looking for is the issue.
And if you're willing to be an early adopter of sorts.
Yeah, because there's definitely some kinks they're still working out. Like, it is kind of harsh sometimes. It definitely doesn't capture everything that I feel like radar does. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I mean, I think there are some limitations they need to work through, because radar can essentially see under the car directly in front of you to see cars even farther ahead.
Yeah.
So I think Tesla's neural nets need to just get a little bit more predictive.
And obviously the speed.
Yeah, 75 mile an hour is
It's
annoying.
not really practical to be always driving on autopilot at 75. So if you are in an 80 mile per hour speed limit, you basically have to drive yourself or go significantly slower than everyone around you.
Or use traffic
Which
or
I mean,
cruise
like,
control.
like first world problems. Like, you have to drive yourself, guys.
Or just turn on traffic or cruise control, the
Yeah.
adaptive cruise. You could just do that for now. But hopefully Tesla resolves that really fast. Overall, this would not stop me from buying a new Model Y. I wouldn't go like try and find an old one just because it has radar.
Yeah.
I would say maybe if the 75 mile an hour speed limit is really annoying to you, wait a little bit.
If you live like somewhere where like all your speed limits are 80.
Yeah, I would say maybe
probably
wait.
Wouldn't be ideal.
But I wouldn't say don't buy one just because of it. Tesla's clearly shown that this is actually ready for prime time-ish. This is not like AP2 all over again from AP1. It actually works.
Yeah.
It's just, it has some quirks and they're working those through. Anyway, I would say my rate is buy or wait and buy depending on your specific situation, but it's definitely not a pass for me.
Yeah. I mean, if you're coming out of an, like, well, I guess you wouldn't be coming out of an, I don't know why they're like a year old, but
Most likely not.
you probably wouldn't be able to tell like a huge difference, right?
Yeah. I would say if it didn't have the 75 mile an hour speed limit, I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
Unless I drove like two cars back to back, maybe.
Yeah, I guess if you drive the same route every day, you might be able to tell like the differences slightly more, but
I think a lot of the quirks would just be general autopilot quirks to begin with.
yeah.
And we don't have a set route here in Minneapolis that we've tested back to back with different cars, so it's kind of hard to tell in that regard.
Yeah.
But anyway, hopefully this was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. If you like to hit the like button, and for future content, maybe I'll even end up with my own radarless Model Y. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye.